Hey Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain here, speaking on Captain Clyde's MTG, and today we are going to start a review cycle of the best cards from Phyrexia. All will be one that will be affecting the most normal formats. The formats I'm going to cover in these next video series during the pre-release weekend, where we're all going to be busy playing pre-release, is we're going to start with Pauper, and then we're going to hit up Standard, Modern, and we'll even hit up Commander while we're at it. Not necessarily in that order, but today's video is for Pauper. Not there's a Let's just say there's a lot of good cards that are in Pauper, but the cards that I think are going to be more widely used because of their just flat ability to be good and not in conjunction with other cards is what's made this list. And believe it or not, it was really hard for me to find five, but I did find five. So you guys tell me in the comments below what you think about what I feel, about what you feel, about what I feel, because you know what I feel, what you feel. Anyway, point being, before we get started, guys, don't forget to sub up, try and get to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate the help. So we're going to start with number 5 and run all the way through to number 1 on the hot new cards to be played in the Pauper format. Starting off at number 5. Number 5 today, we have the common land sphere cycle. You can see here there is one for every color. They all do the same thing. They come into play tapped. They produce a mana of every color. They are spheres. I don't know if that's going to play anything into the Pauper format as far as land types go. I'm sure it'll do a little something. But the big thing for me on these land cycles, if you look here, is the ability for 2 mana to sacrifice the land and draw a card. So, now because you have to tap the land, you can't use the land for the mana. So it's basically a 3 mana activation and a sacrifice of a land to draw a card. However, in Pauper, that may be something needed if you get land flooded. Because let's be honest, if you have 4 or 5 land in your hand, at some point you can play one tapped and then sacrifice it later to draw a card. I don't know if this will be great for every color, but the fact that every color does have access to it, it is its own special thing with spheres. We may see some kind of weird sphere thing come up in the Pauper format. Not likely anytime soon, but who knows with all you brewers out there. But again, just the fact that you could tap this land and 2 others to draw a card by sacrificing this land seems pretty sweet in a format where draw power is not a whole lot of what's going on. So that's number 5 on new cards for Pauper. So moving on to number 4, what we have is Vanish into Eternity. So this is a 1 white, 2 colorless instant, which is a bonus, that says exile target non-land permanent for 3 mana to exile any permanent. That is amazing flexibility. Now, it also says if you want to exile a creature with this, it does cost 3 more. But let's be honest, if you're playing white, you're not playing this probably for the 1 and 6 or the 1 and 5 to exile a creature. You're playing this for the 1 and 2 to get rid of I know there's no common planeswalkers, but at some point, hell, who knows, a planeswalker, artifact, enchantment, you name it, that's not a land, and this will solve the problem. I don't know if it's going to be real big in the Pauper format, but the ability to have access to it is phenomenal because if you're playing white, there's plenty of hard-pressed white cheap removal spells. However, if your second rung of removal spells in white, whatever that may be, because don't forget, you could easily switch these out for the less mana efficient or less used white removal spells to have a more multi-purpose removal spell, and that may make this card a playable 2/4 of in Pauper just because it just kills anything. Now, that's number 4. So what could be at number 3? Veraskas Fall. So I like this one better because it's just a flat rate of a black and 2. However, it does say opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and gets a poison counter. There's lots of common stuff that's going to give poison counters and give the ability to make an infect deck. And this thing that will let you kill their creature and supply the poison counters with other cards that will synergize with this to help you proliferate to raise those poison counters, I think makes this number 3 on the list for Pauper because it can be good in the right environment, especially the fact that it's only for opponents, it's not for you. The ability to give poison counters could be a thing, and at 3 mana, when it gets creatures and planeswalkers, heck, who knows? This could be a big player. Now, moving on for number 2. Number 2, we have Planar Disruption. So this is a really sweet card. The art here is Kato and the Wanderer. If you didn't watch the storyline, she planeswalks randomly basically. Um, she gets booted out of Phyrexia while she's trying to help him, and that's basically what this is because she can't stay in one spot. This is an enchantment aura that for a white and 1, you can enchant an artifact, a creature, or a planeswalker. That enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. This is Uber Pacify, or Pacifism, for your opponent's entire board except for enchantments. And the fact that this is at common is going to make this one of White's best removal spells. And along with the other one, with this being in there as one of the best White removal spells, it just takes care of anything. I think that this is one of the reasons why the 3 mana White removal spell, for me, made it onto the list. Is because you're going to have to fight other White decks that are going to play this main, because this is going to be a main decking 4 of card in Pauper, because for 2 mana it stops whatever is bothering you. And that's just amazing for the Pauper format. Heck, this is almost good enough, and probably is good enough for Standard, let alone Pauper. So, this is going to be a big deal in the Pauper format, I believe, if you're playing White, because who doesn't want to be able to just take care of anything on the board? And the last time I checked, I don't think enchantments were real big in Pauper anyway. Could be wrong. Put that in the comment section down below as I get destroyed. But anyway, so now we've talked about all that. Let's move on to the card that I believe will be the number 1 mover of the market and the format from this set getting put into Pauper as a common card. It's not a reprint. It's brand new. It's Power Creep. It is incredible. Number 1 on the list, we have Blazing Crescendo. That's right, an instant that for a red and 1, target creature gets +3/+1 to the end of turn, which is okay at best. But the big thing here is exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. The best thing about this is you get to exile top card of your library, you get to play it, and it's not play it that turn. It's play it the end of next turn. This gives you 2 whole turns to utilize that card or let that card go away. This is going to be sweet in any red-based decks, especially red burn, because what's the worst that's going to happen? At 2 mana, what's the odds you're going to hit something you can't play on turn 2 or turn 3 if you put a land into play? Almost nothing. Secondly, if you hit a land off the top, okay, you didn't draw a land, play the land from out of the exile zone from Blazing Crescendo. Now you don't have to worry about drawing that card. And if you have a land in your hand and you don't want to play the land that's exiled for some reason, you're still losing a land, you're not losing anything. Plus, stacking Blazing Crescendos on top of each other, I mean, think about it. Turn 2, I'm on Blazing Crescendo. Let's say it's a 1/1. I'm going to punch you in the face for 4. Exile, Blazing Crescendo. Draw, lay my 3rd land. Blazing Crescendo you again, exile the card. You're basically drawing 2 cards a turn. This is a powerhouse for the Pauper format and any of those Pauper decks that play red. The best thing about this that makes it not broken is this doesn't give trample, it doesn't give first strike or anything like that, and it doesn't give a big butt. So you can still kill the creature. However, with Monastery Swiftspear now being a common, I mean, if I'm not wrong, Pretty sure it became a common in one set somewhere. Um, that's an uncommon. My bad. But anyway, there are cards like Monastery Swiftspear um, that may not get a prowess benefit, but any one drop that's a 1/1 or a 1/2 is going to be insane with this tacked on top of it. And the fact that, yeah, let's say they block and they kill both creatures die. The Crescendo is replacing itself by exiling the top card of the library. This thing is just insane. If you're not putting this in a red deck playing Pauper, you better not have. You best just not have creatures in it because there's no reason not to play it. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. There's the top 10 list for the Pauper format coming straight from Phyrexia. All will be one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't think I'm right, tell me in the list down below why I'm wrong, and put some cards down there you think are sweet. So us Pauper players out there who are playing cheap uh, legacy, basically, that's what it feels like a lot of the time. Uh, what we should be looking at and what sweet things they could be to come. So until next time, be kind. Check out links in the description to the eBay store and a Patreon. And as always, during pre-release weekend, I hope to see you across from the game table.